All right. Well, Nancy Pelosi, Nancy, Mama Bad Nancy. She's got somebody challenging her seat. She's got somebody going after her. Oh my goodness gracious cretaceous. Who would go after Nancy Pelosi? Well, I know it's electoral politics, but I find it fascinating that we got a challenger to the all powerful, all knowing Nancy, and knowing how the previous elections have turned out for Nancy. Um, you know, you could bet the scales are going to be in her favor unless maybe the people in her district do wake up. But knowing how a lot of vote blue, no matter who people are, they're used to the familiar. They're used to things that will, you know, help them go to sleep at night. So there's a challenger to Nancy. So I want to pull up this guy. Yes, he's running as a Democrat. Yes, I know. I know many of you are burnt out by electoral politics, but this is a newsworthy event because the Rolling Stone even did an article on this guy. So let's go and pull this up here.
It's time to nationalize PG&E. My name's Shoykat Chakrabarty. I'm running for Congress here in San Francisco against Nancy Pelosi, and most of us use PG&E as our electric utility. And PG&E just asked for
Hold on, let's just rewind that again.
I'm running for Congress here, nationalize PG&E. My name's Shoykat Chakrabarty. I'm running for Congress here in San Francisco against Nancy Pelosi, and most of us use PG&E as our electric utility. And PG&E just asked for yet another rate increase so that they can increase the profits that their shareholders are going to be getting. The problem is PG&E's rates are already crazy expensive. They've been going up at an insane rate over the last decade. And at the same time, their profits have also been going up over the last several years. Their shareholders are already making record profits. So what we have here now in San Francisco is a utility company that keeps increasing rates and taking money from all of us just to line the pockets of its investors. This is such an incredibly inefficient system. We should just get rid of the profit from the system. Let's have the state take over PG&E, and let's just make it work and get our rates down.
Well, on paper, Shekat Charbagari, I think I said his name right. I've been practicing it all day. It does sound good on paper. California, though, is a state that really can't even make sure that there's water in the reservoirs. It does sound good, but there's a lot of problems within the great state of California. And I'm all for energy being more affordable, which is why there's probably a mass exodus of Californians leaving the great state. But who is he? Just to get an idea, just a little bit more on who he is and what he's about. Here's his X account, running for Congress to represent San Francisco. We need solutions as big as the problems past. He was a COS to AOC. Oh boy, director of tech at Bernie Sanders and founding engineer at Stripe. So, okay, I'm already getting red flags. Okay, just it's getting red flags here, but I'm interested in what he's about. So he says, I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, to immigrants from India. I came to San Francisco after college in 2009, like so many others, with dreams making a difference. I fell in love with our city. I started my own company here before joining Stripe as its second engineer. He left Stripe to join Bernie's 2016 campaign, where he traveled across the country building tools that powered Bernie's unprecedented grassroots movement. On that campaign, he met an incredible group of leaders, and together we launched an effort to recruit a new generation of leaders to Congress called Justice Democrats. When I read that, I fell to the floor. It kind of made me wonder, why am I here? Justice Democrats. You know, we did a story, like a year ago, how they were hemorrhaging people from their staff because they're going broke. I don't want to predict the future, and I don't want to be that person, but something tells me that that this campaign ain't going to be really making a lot of headway. Because remember, hold on, it gets better. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was a member of our first class of recruits. I ran her 2018 campaign. Oh, it's you. Before going into Congress as her chief of staff. Where I was in charge of writing and launching the Green New Deal. Oh, no. You see where we're going here, my lovelies? Do you see the thing here? Because here's the thing. What I like to tell this gentleman is, all right, Nancy Pelosi, Her district in the great state of California, there's a massive amount of homelessness.
I'm in downtown LA, Skid Row, and I want to point out a few things that's gone on here in the past few years. In 2023, Gavin Newsom set aside $750 million to build tiny homes for people just like this that are surrounding by me. Somehow that money is gone. In 2019, they set aside $24 billion to go towards the homeless. Somehow that money is gone. It's unaccounted for. I want to talk about a few politicians from here. One is Nancy Pelosi. She's been serving these people since 2007. Her net worth is over 120 million. Another person here, Maxine Waters, she's been serving the people here in California since 1990. Her net worth is over $10 million. And Gavin Newsom, who knows what his net worth is, but we know he is building a $9 million home in San Francisco, California. Their leaders, the leaders of California, they failed these people here in Los Angeles and in California. California has actually been one of the highest states in America that people have fled from. Over 66 million people have left California in the last few years. And yet Gavin Newsom, he's out there holding a podcast when he should be working on his state. He might be making a run for it in 2028. And I hope people remember this that's behind me.
I also want to pull this up here as well. This is from the Rolling Stone. After the Democrats lost the White House and Senate and House of Representatives last year, Shekhar Chagari waited for the party's leaders to acknowledge, if not address, their mistakes. Dude, do you want to know? Do you want to know why the party won't admit its mistakes? It's because they're not going to. They're never going to acknowledge that they got things wrong, okay? I mean, Justice Democrats, brand new Congress, our revolution sounded like a great idea. Hell, to me, when it first happened, I remember in 2018 when AOC first won her seat, I thought maybe there was a possibility, a chance. But see, the thing is, once you throw your person out there in the swamp that is called Washington, D.C., they're on their own. They're on their own, and the Justice Democrats didn't really have a united coalition plan. I mean, for Christ's sakes, the Squad and AOC don't even show up on the channels that used to boost them up, like TYT or Majority Report. Hell, I remember when AOC went on the Jimmy Dore show. She don't do that no more. Justice Democrats don't do that no more. You guys go on corporate media now. Just us Democrats. I mean, that's what my audience says. That's what a lot of people say. And I'm supposed to be impressed now that you're running against this party and against Nancy. It'd be more impressive if you decided to run as a third-party candidate. But here we go. Instead, just days after the election, he listened to his representative in Congress, former Speaker Nancy Pelosi, do a podcast with the New York Times where she argued against the idea that the American electorate had rebuked the Democrat Party. She basically made the case, for how the Democrats don't really need to change. You know, that they ran a great race, did their best, and nothing needs to change. That was the first warning sign to me. No, the first warning sign should have been in 2016 when they screwed over Bernie Sanders, which he allowed to happen. To be a fly on the wall for his campaign staff to figure out that Bernie Sanders was a nutless cuck. I really feel the Democrats actually need to become the party that's fighting tooth and nail for the working class and middle class right now. He has stated that he's no stranger to American politics, especially to insurgents. Those of insurgents, a 39-year-old tech millionaire. Great, I can relate to him already. Who was the founding engineer at Stripe, first entered politics by working on Senator Bernie Sanders' campaign in 2016. He then went to help start the Justice Democrats. Hold on. I wonder if he was part of that group that kicked out Cenk Uygur. A progressive PAC founded by Cenk Uygur and Kyle Kulinski. How come that's missing in the article? Before working as Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's chief of staff. 2 months after hearing the Times interview, he watched as President Donald Trump came into office, began delivering on the far-right agenda he promised his supporters. So there you go. My second concern right now is that Trump is sort of doing the coup that he's been promising he's going to do all throughout the election, that the Democrats warned us he was going to do all throughout the last election. He said, Trump's not doing a coup. He's not doing a coup, okay? Everyone's worried about a Trump coup. No. That coup already happened a long time ago when the oligarchs took over. All right. When the Supreme Court of the United States decided to say that Citizens United McCutcheon's decision were absolutely legal, there was no problem with it, and it's okay for money to be in politics. That's when the coup happened. It's not because of Trump. Continue on. The muted Democrat response to Trump's actions so far made him quickly realize, oh, Democrats actually don't get it. No, they never did because they don't want to get it. He views their overall plans as waiting to rely on growing backlash to Trump and hoping the pendulum swings back in their favor so they could secure some sort of victory in the 2026 midterms or the 2028 general election. That's the plan, buddy. That's the plan. That's the plan. That's what they're going to do. The Democrats aren't going to fight back. The Democrats are actually just going to sit down, wait for the public backlash to grow so they can get people right back into the party so they do nothing. I mean, this is, and you know, I know there's people right now showing on social media that he doesn't take money from AIPAC, at least for now, at least for now, at least for now. I mean, I get it, people. I understand it. I feel, this is how I feel. Like anyone who gets into office who is a brand new Democrat or even a brand new Republican and they haven't got that AIPAC money or a AIPAC babysitter, give it a few minutes. Once they step into office, they're going to get a little phone call from the AIPAC Babysitters Club. And everyone has to pick up. Call me liar. Call me liar. Call me liar. Feeling stagnation and decline, he has led people to vote for change in candidates in most presidential elections in 2008. If the Democrats can't counter with actual transformative economic vision, he predicts that even if the pendulum may swing back their way next time, it will likely swing back toward Republicans the time after that with even more extreme results. That's why he says he decided the primary Pelosi, who led Democrats in the House of Representatives for 2 decades in California's 11th congressional district. Pelosi, supposedly, I don't know about it, has since passed the torch to Hakeem Jeffries. Leadership doesn't know how to act right now tactically to stop the coup, and the leadership doesn't know or doesn't believe that we should even have any sort of vision to pitch to Americans for how to make their lives better. And actually, I don't even know if they believe everything I was just saying about how, for most Americans, their lives are getting harder and harder. Despite his critiques of the party and its leaders, he says explicitly that the current leadership team is not the right leadership. So you want to go ahead and take on Pelosi now. I've talked to so many people in San Francisco who respect Nancy Pelosi for her career, and the glass ceiling that she shattered, but they can't believe she's running again. They really feel like it's time for something new. Well, of course, of course. Hold on. Of course, everyone's surprised that she's running again. Why? Because these politicians have not developed emotional maturity. These politicians have not developed the hindsight to realize that nobody really wants somebody in their late 80s to represent them. And look, I'm all for people of all ages to do new things, to have new challenges. But in this current environment, my goodness, we have politicians on both the Democrat and Republican side showing clear signs of dementia and Alzheimer's. Republican and Democrat lawmakers in their late 80s. We did a story about one Republican lawmaker who was found in an old folks' home. We have Dianne Feinstein, who was gone for 6 months. 6 months. If you were gone from your job for 6 months, would you still have your job? No, the answer is no. I'm not even going to have a democracy in the chat kind of thing because we all know the answer. Absolutely not. And when confronted about it, she said that she was always been there. And then she died in office. Dianne Feinstein. Joe Biden, the president of these United States, former president actually, had clear exhibiting signs of dementia. And despite all the vote blue, no matter who, TYT, majority report, everybody else, corporate media saying that this was the best Joe Biden ever and telling you guys we had to vote for Joe Biden in 2020 and 2024, he wasn't all there. And turns out we had a senile old man in charge of a global superpower. Brilliant. What led to that? I don't know. War in Ukraine, a genocide in Gaza, economic instability, political corruption. Do I need to go on? So, no, it doesn't surprise me that Nancy's running, but this is where you need to run as a third-party candidate, or either that, hey, buddy, if you're going to be challenging Nancy, call her out. Take the gloves off, because you know damn well that the DNC is going to be challenging your stupid butt. You know, damn, and the reason why I'm going to be talking like this, because now I don't want to read the rest of the article, and I don't want to read the rest of his campaign or his policies, because if you're not going to take the gloves off and say that Nancy Pelosi is incompetent, Nancy Pelosi led the Democrat Party to destruction, Nancy Pelosi's too old for the job, I don't want to hear what you're going to do. Because I've been doing this now for 8 years. And, you know, in 2018 and in 2020, when I was interviewing progressive Democrats who were in the Justice Democrats or running as Justice Democrats in different primaries, you know, their stories were all the same. And hold on, folks, sit down, because this will shock you. And I hope this goes out to all the other potential Justice Democrat challengers that are listening. The story was always the same. The DCCC was lifting up every and pushing every kind of roadblock in front of you. Those candidates, smearing them on social media, corporate media blackout, and ensuring that they were not given a fair chance to even run in a primary. So if you're not going to call out the Democrat Party, you're wasting my time. If you don't remember how the DNC screwed Bernie Sanders up the wazoo, not once but twice, you're wasting my time. I hear you. And you're saying things I do agree with. And yeah, you're talking about policies I agree with. But if you are not going to call out Nancy and actually get dirty and fight her, like really fight her, like call her out and be mean, I love you, but you're not a serious person. You're not a serious candidate, and you got to fight. That means calling out the Democrats and making enemies of them. And you know what's interesting is that a lot of the quote-unquote squad members, you know, have you noticed that their rhetoric has calmed down a little bit? That they're not, you know, raising the ruckus as much? And when we did ask the squad for a simple thing of force to vote, they were nowhere to be seen or heard. They said it was violence. Are we going to get the same result from you should you win your primary against Nancy? I don't know. I'm so jaded from this. I think maybe yes. So you go ahead and tell me how you're going to fight. And it better not be this, oh, I'm going to be polite and everything else. No, that means waking up the constituents of Nancy Pelosi's district and actually being mean. It's okay to be mean. Because anybody that's running as a Democrat right now, and you're telling me that we got to fight against Trump. Remember, Trump used to be a Democrat. He used to donate to Democrats. Same thing for Elon Musk. Same thing for Mark Zuckerberg. Same thing for Jeff Bezos. And if you're not going to fight against a DNC leadership that says they're good billionaires, then here's what I think about it.
And here's what I think about it.
So either fight or shut up.